Oh, I was trying something new. You should have sound now.
Okay, do I have sound now? Hello, hello. Hi, everybody. Hello. I said hello to by name, but I think I didn't have sound, so let me try again. Hi, Alice and Jane and Elsie and Mary R. and Ruth Ann and Kim. Hello, hello. Betty Gozzle. Welcome, guys. I know there's a couple of you that I missed. Ellen, hi. Oh, we can hear you. Good, 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 good. Welcome, guys. We're going to have fun today. Hi, Brenda. It is going to be great fun. Ruth Ann, hello. Wondering what I could do instead of the inset step easel or whatever. You could just do it as a... you could use the same pieces and do an A6 if you're looking for something that's not as involved. Hello, Michelle. Welcome, guys. We'll do it together, though. You'll find it's not as bad as it looks. It's pretty easy. Give everybody a second to get signed in there. Thank you guys for the thumbs up. I appreciate that. Okay. Let's take a look at, I'm going to pull these down. And let's take a look at, or slide them back a bit anyway. Is that going to be okay with your little camera?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Hello, Betty McSorley, Adeline, Kathy. Welcome, guys. Let's take a look at what's in our kit today. You are going to have in your kit these beautiful toppers. We're looking at the unicorns today, so we have the unicorn topper sheet. You have this beautiful background paper. You have this. I love this one. I love this unicorn where he's on the border and looking in. Gorgeous. And then we have some really spectacular inserts. You know that usually you buy the inserts separately, but we are including them. Oops, I got two of that one. We're including them in your kit because they were just too pretty not to. Looks like I got two of everything. Mine was the last kit we made, so I think I just got all the extras. And this one. Then you're going to have a piece of acetate for your shaker card, because yes, we have to have a shaker from this one too. We are going to have two different pieces of specialty paper, both from the Fuchsia pack and Crafter's Companion. You're going to have this really pretty glitter paper, and then you're going to have Mary paper as well. On restriction, huh? You're going to have your card blanks. We're going to have a A6 Gatefold card. You're going to have an A6 straight edge card. You're going to have that inset easel card. You're going to have a DL. You're going to have envelopes for those. You're going to have a roll of shaker tape. You're going to have, yours is actually a half a pack of foam squares. You're going to have 4 pretty gems. You're going to have some ribbon, and you're going to have your shaker components. I'm going to trade this out. I'm using up some packs, so we'll save these full packs for the kids. And I'm going to use up remnants. Okay. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi, Diane. Welcome, welcome. Hope I said hi to everybody. Please don't be offended if I didn't. Okay. Let's keep going. I'm going to set my envelopes off to the side here and get my card components out. You know, I like to start with an easiest one, so I think we'll start with we're going to start with the horse looking or the unicorn looking into the picture. So we're going to need this one. It's a unicorn sheet. We're going to need your DL card. We're going to need components today. You're going to want a bow maker. You're going to want some tape. I recommend the best glue ever, not absolutely essential, but it is recommended. It's always good to have a glue bottle standing by in case we need it for something. So I'm going to need my bow maker and my scissors, of course, my trimmer, and that's about it. I am going to need one piece off of this topper sheet. I'm going to use the little sentiment saying that says, if only everyone had someone like you. Pretty. I'm going to set these off to the side for now. I already pre-tied one of my bows and let it dry. We'll do another one on camera as usual. Okay. What happened to the little picture? The little picture's gone.
It just changed because I changed screens.
Ah, he's bringing it back. Okay. Ooh, making bookmarks for my sister's book signing for the new book due out in a month or so. Is that your book together with her, Betty, or is this hers alone? That's pretty cool, a book signing. Hello, Roberta. Welcome. Okay. Yes, 2 authors in the family. That's awesome. We'll get started momentarily. I have to get my Diet Coke ready to go here. Should have done it before we started, but just realized the cup's empty. So, hey, there are just certain priorities in life, and having my Diet Coke at the ready is one of those priorities. Okay, let's get going. We are going to start by measuring our DL card. Now, normally we don't have to do this, but I'm going to measure my topper for my DL. My DL is 3 7/8 wide by, and I want to say, is that in my craft room on your live? Never this time of night, but I have no effort for cards. Getting my pop fix is a priority. That is true. Okay, so this was 3 7/8 wide by 8 and just a little over 1/4 long. That's why we measure these, because you never really know for sure what you're going to get. Now, the 8 1/4 I can't do much about. That's my length. So, but the 3 7/8, I'm going to go ahead and cut here. I'm going to cut my unicorn off because we want to wrap our card. Normally, you know, I would just tape it down and cut it off, but yes, it feels like a long time since we've been together, hasn't it? It's only been a week, but it does feel like a longer time since we've been together. I'm used to seeing you guys twice a week, and it's really rather strange when I don't. Okay, I'm going to test my cut topper against my card and make sure it's a perfect fit, and it is. Now I can go ahead and tie my bow to go around the corner. I'm using the little bow maker. It's the same process we will use for the big one, but I'll walk you through my steps as I go here. I've got the little tiny blueberry bow maker. This is the smaller of the two in the new set. I do know that I've been promising you guys a bow class. I just haven't had time to cut all the ribbon to the holidays. And I will get that moved up on the priority list because I want to get a bow class out there for those of you who haven't done one yet. I started at number 4. I came under this tine right here. I came underneath it, back up to the top of my bow maker, and now I'm going to go to number 4 on the other side. Slide it all down. I'm coming back to this, to the right side of my bow maker, and I'm going to go around this outside tine, which is number 5. I'm going to go back across my bow maker, and I'm going to come back to number 5 again. Anything I do to the right side, I'm going to do to the left. I'm going to come back to number 4 again. I'm going to wrap under that tine. And then I'm going to come to number 4 on the other side, and I'm going under that tine. I'm going to come down, and right now it looks like a hot mess. It looks like it's just not going to turn out at all. It's okay. It will. We're going to push the ribbon down through this hole. And we're going to scooch it back up. I'm coming up. When I say scooch it, what I mean is I'm going to push that ribbon up into the channel from the hole. I'm going to come up into the channel, and then I'm going to come right through the middle from the front, and I'm going to pull this up against my ribbon. I'm going to let this side go from my little holder at the bottom. I'm going to tie a half knot, making sure that the back of my ribbon is facing me.
Kathy asked if we can do the bow with the red bow maker.
Yes, it's a 515 on the red bow maker, Kathy. You absolutely can. It's just our regular 515. And there we are. The fact that we are, I have you going underneath the single tines now instead of just kind of overlapping. And one of the things I'm finding by doing that is that it just kind of puffs out right where we want it instead of having to dig that one loop out of the bigger loop. We're not overlapping them anymore. I've learned that it actually gives me better results. What? Karen, when you make a bow, Debbie, it always reminds me of that scene in Jaws where the chief is in the middle of learning how to tie a bow, and up pops the shark. Do. You know, we gotta kind of have some of that background music for that comment. You're funny, Karen. Okay, I'm gonna lay my bow down on the table, face down. I'm gonna grab my tape roll. Okay, I'm gonna run my tape across the back of my ribbon. It does not require best glue ever when we're actually tacking down the okay. All right. You don't need best glue ever when you're tacking it across the corner. So I am ready to cut off my ribbon. And I've got this little tiny piece left. You might think, well, can I actually make anything out of that? Well, I had a little tiny piece left, and I just made one out of it just a minute ago. This looks like 10 inches of ribbon. So yes, you can make pretty little bows out of your leftovers. Okay, and sometimes it'll be just the right size bow.
Diane asks if you can show us again what you mean by not overlapping the ribbon
Yes,
with the bow.
I will show you. In fact, I can grab, maybe, if I've got one here, I could grab my other bow maker. But yes, I will show you exactly what I mean by that. Let me put this on so I don't lose it or mess it up. I'm going to take my piece that I cut off my card. I've got a little bit of adhesive showing from the front. So I'm just going to wrap that back on itself a little bit because I don't want that adhesive to show on my pretty mirror board. I'm going to lay this across the corner of my card somewhat evenly. It doesn't have to be precise. Oops. I'm going to cut off a little bit of my extra here. Wrap this ribbon back here. And we've got our pretty ribbon wrapped around the corner of our card. But let me show you what I meant by not overlapping it anymore. That is a great question. Thank you for asking. Okay, let me get a little bit longer piece of ribbon here. I can still do it on this one and still show you what I mean. When I taught you to tie the 515, I said go to number 4 and then go across the front of your comb and make a whole loop all the way around, as opposed to picking up just the tine like we just did. This is the difference between the two. This is what we just did, and this is what I had you doing before. When we were doing it before, I had you come across the front and then across the front again, and then across the front again. This is what I did have you doing. Now this will turn out just fine. In fact, let's just finish it. But you kind of have to scooch things around a little bit and sometimes tape them in place because the bow loops try to hide inside each other. And so I'm going to pull this tight. And I'm going to pull it off. Now you remember what it looked like when I pulled it off last time. See this? I have 2 loops that are hiding inside the big ones. So we had to reach in and get that loop and pull it out. Assuming I can. It's in there. It's in there. There it is. Now, I still get the same result if I pull these loops out, but sometimes I had to tape them in place because it has a tendency to do what it just did. It tries to go back inside and hide. So I'd have to kind of tape these in place, which is fine. I mean, that's when I figured out how to do these. That's how I figured it out. And it worked just fine. There's my pretty bow. I would just tape those in place then. The difference between that and what I just did, when I did it just now, instead of going across the front, let's just look at our results again. I'm going underneath that tine. So I'm only going under the tine. And so from the front, what it's going to look like is that. And then I'm going to come under here, under my final tine for my number 5. Again, it's just on this little bow maker, but it's the same on your big one. And they can still be kind of on top of each other. That's fine. I'm going to come over here. So I've got a 5, 4, 5. No, I don't. I have a 4, 5, 4. That's what I'm trying to say. A 4, 5, 4. Okay. I've only picked up the ribbon from the one tine. I'm going to cut my ribbon off here. I'm going to take my end, go down through the hole. I'm going to kind of scooch that back up on the comb. I'm going to come through the middle like we always do. And I'm going to tie my half knot. And the difference between the two, trying to keep the back of my ribbon towards me as I tie that. The difference between the two is that when you pop it off, those loops are on the outside. I don't have to fish around to find it. Okay. Got it? That's the difference between the two bows. Okay. So let's go ahead and finish this card up. Okay. So yeah, it's doing the same thing. It's just that the new way makes it easier, and I'm always on the lookout for an easier way. Okay, let's put some tape down on our card. Actually, let's just do, since we're matching exactly, let's do some tape flags. So we will put our tape line on the outside. I'll put my tape line on just the far edge again. So I've put tape on both sides. Press my tape down good. I'm still finishing up that Teddy chewed roll. It's got little holes in it. Speaking of Teddy, you ought to see what I'm seeing across the table here. Teddy decided he needed in his daddy's lap for a little nap here. He should come over and say hi, though, between cards, and then I'll give him back to you, and you guys can continue his nap. Would you tie a double bow the same way? Sure. It won't hurt to tie a double bow the same way. I don't think it's as important that you go under the tine when you're tying the double, because they're kind of side by side anyway. It's the fact that one kind of slides inside the other because I have one loop that's bigger than the other that causes me to want to make those separate a little bit. Okay, I'm going to line this all up, get it right where I want it. The benefit of having just a little bit of my adhesive showing is that I can pop that right back off if it doesn't line up right where I want it. Okay, so I've got that right where I want it, and I want to make sure that this is lined up all the way down. That tape can also help me kind of keep that top in place while I work on the bottom. So you can actually use that little bit of tape to your advantage and kind of tap it down a little bit there. Now I'm going to hold this with one hand, pull it with the other. I'm going to hold this with one hand, pull that tape out with the other, and my card is perfectly faced. Okay, put a few foam squares on here. Already behind, forgot needed to make Gatefold A6 and discovered European A6 is apparently smaller than US A6. That is true. Yes, a European A6 is 5 7/8 by 4 1/8. Where a US A6 is, it depends on the manufacturer, is a different size. I've seen them as large as 5.5 by 6, or 5.5 by, no, let's see, 5 by 6.5. That's what Hot Off the Press used to make. And then the ones that are done by Tonic Studios, the USA 6 is even a different size. So go figure. That's why we measure stuff before we start. Even though we think we know what size the card is. Okay, I'm going to put my little tag in the center at the bottom. And our first card is done. It's a very simple card design, but isn't that beautiful? And I didn't use a lot of glitter. I didn't, glitter would be pretty, but I didn't glitter these because with the rainbow mirror, or excuse me, with the Merry Magic, the design actually being printed on the mirror board, the colors are so rich and so stunning anyway that I just didn't think we needed to put a lot of other stuff on there. You always can. It just doesn't need it. So 1 down, 3 to go. Oh, let's line this while we're at it, shall we? I think we have a liner that matches this one. We do. So to line this, I'm simply going to put down 1 piece of tape along my margin. Just below the line, as I have the card laid out now, I'm going to slide in my insert paper. Teddy time? Oh.
No.
Yes, Teddy time's coming.
No. Be above that one. We can above that one.
So I've decided I'm going to be a European size 12 instead of a US 14 then. Oh, I love you. You're funny. We're not going to talk about what size I would be, European or US. Either way. Okay. Now we got our beautiful liner in it. And look how much difference it makes to open that card up to that liner. Isn't that beautiful? That's so pretty. I had something on my arm. I don't know what it was, but whatever it was got away. Okay. 1 down. Next. Let's see. What do we want to do next? Let's do what? Let's do this one. Let's do our shaker card next. Oh, but we have to have Teddy time first. Here he comes. A little sleepy baby boy. Hi. Can you say hi to everybody? Can you say hi? And Teddy, say hi, everybody. I'm here to see you. I'm here to see you. How come I have welcome to my classroom coming up on my screen?
It's going to show Teddy in a minute.
Okay. There he is. There he is. He said, I'm just a sleepy boy, guys. I'm a sleepy puppy today. I've been busy with the holidays, and my family's been staying up later with New Year's. Usually Teddy, when he goes to bed with Bryce, when he goes, and when Teddy, when he goes to, yes, oh, you're sweet. Yes, you are. Usually when Teddy goes to bed with Bryce, he wants to go in and play on the bed for a few minutes before they settle in. And Ted ran in there on New Year's night. Bryce didn't go to bed until what, maybe 1, 2. He says 2 in the morning. Teddy stayed up with him, but when they went into the bedroom, Teddy kind of slowly sombered in behind Bryce. He jumped up on the bed and he just flopped over like, wait, this is way too late.
Switch it back.
Okay.
The picture goes away, you can put him down.
Yeah. All right. Are you going to get him? Come and get him?
He can walk.
He wants to be loved. I took him from his lovey place, and he wants to be held. Teddy looks longer. Teddy is, he's a miniature. He only weighs 13 pounds, but he is a long-legged, long-bodied puppy dog. Okay. All right. Let's do something. Even if it's wrong, and it might be. Okay, we're doing our shaker card. So we're going to need our topper set. We're going to use this punch out off the very top. We are going to use Just For You. So I'm going to take those out. I'm going to dig in my stack here, and I'm going to find my A6 card, a regular A6, and I'm going to get my acetate out, which is here somewhere. That's the thing about acetate, it's clear, you can't see it. Unless maybe it was the acetate that fell on the floor a minute ago. That is possible. I felt something slide off the table. Yeah, I have one right. Oh. Yeah, I really do. I had a whole stack of wood here a second ago. There it is. I have one right here, so just grab one. All right, so I got my acetate, and I need my shaker components, and I need my foam squares. That's what we need for that card. Let's get going here. We're going to use the lower corner down here. I'm glad you're feeling better, Betty. Sorry you weren't feeling well, but I'm glad you're feeling better. He's already back to sleep in Daddy's arms. Oh, aren't those Hunkydory magazines fun? I love those. I love the magazines now that they do that you get all the good stuff. Okay. I'm going to use this lower corner of my cardstock, so I am lining up on here. Get it lined up where I want it, and then I'm just going to cut it off. My nice long blade scissors. Aren't puppies and kitties wonderful when we're not feeling good? They're just so much comfort. Okay. Next, we're going to pop this outer frame off of this 3-piece topper. I'm going to make a window out of that one. I'm going to test this out to see where it's going to go on my card. Now, this is going to be a close fit here, so I'm going to want to make sure that I allow plenty of room for my frame. So I'm pretty much going to center this image both directions because it's going to be a fairly tight fit. But if this was regular paper, I'd probably say just glue it down there, but it's not regular paper, and as we've discussed, glue does not hold as well on mirror board. So I'm going to tape this in place. Did you guys have fun with the treasure hunt? I gotta say that the A lot of you found the dies from let me see, Diversions, and from Cheery Lynn, but nobody found what I considered. Hello, Thelma. I was wondering where you were. It's good to see you, friend. Nobody found some of our bigger prizes. I was surprised. I had a 7-piece die set from Sue Wilson, a $29 die set for free. Nobody found that. I had a tonic guillotine trimmer that normally sells for $25 for free. Nobody found that.
We sold 2 on Amazon.
Did we? Yeah, so we had some good prizes out there, although a lot of you scored in the die front, and I'm glad to see that. I was looking for something for you guys to do, and as I explained in my newsletter, it was twofold. One, I wanted to see if we could crank up sales for the end of the year just a little bit, make the bankers happy. And then I also wanted to offer you guys something fun to do on New Year's Eve if you didn't already have plans. And so, okay, just put that down and kind of centered that image, centered side to side and up, down. But anyway, yeah, it was fun. It was very fun. It was fun for me to watch you guys and check your orders and see what you were finding. So that was fun for me too. Hunkydory squares, very sticky on decoupage. I don't find the Hunkydory squares. Ellen, I can link those for you on the newsletter. You get the newsletter, right? If you don't get the newsletter, you want it, because that's how I can respond to some of your requests for how to find things. But I will definitely. Thanks, everyone. I'm still not getting the newsletter. Let me look at that again, Thelma. Oh, the sale? Yeah, it took me an entire night to put the sale together. Oh, Karen, you need the newsletter, my friend. In the description to this video today, go down. Oops, let's not put that on there until after we put the window in, huh? Oh, you don't think you know about the newsletter? In the description for this video today, I believe there's a newsletter link. Can you check that for me, honey? Okay, I believe there's a newsletter link below here.
Michael's mega clearance event is going on now. Up to 70% off thousands of items. Great clearance deals for $1, $3, and $5 while supply lasts. Shop Michael's mega clearance today.
Bryce is trying to look to make sure the newsletter link is showing in the description. And
you want to know why running on the treadmill 7 days a week doesn't work for you when you're trying to lose weight? Because it never has. And I know that's hard to...
Mute would be good.
It wouldn't mute.
There have been some of your carriers, some of your internet carriers have gotten really carried away with their spam blocking and blocked a bunch of really of our good customers. Now, what happens is, and occasionally what happens, and I don't take offense to it, I know you all get tons of email just like I do. Sometimes we'll get blocked or deleted on accident, and that's what happens sometimes. But under internet rules, if a customer has told us that they don't want the email and they unsubscribe from the email, even if it's on accident, if you unsubscribe from the email, they won't let me reactivate it until and unless you confirm that you want it. So what happens, yes, that's the newsletter, Karen. What happens is that there wasn't a separate email for this class, Stephanie. It was in the Thursday email about the treasure hunt. It was in last Saturday's email. There was a link to this one. I kind of took it really easy over the holidays, guys, and recharged my batteries. So I haven't been as active with things over the last couple of weeks. So it doesn't mean you're unsubscribed if you didn't get an announcement for this class separately, because I didn't send one. But anyway, back to unsubscribe. If you accidentally unsubscribe, they won't let me reactivate you. I can set it to reactivate, but what will happen is it will send you an email for you to confirm that you want the email. If you don't hit that confirmation, it's not coming back. I can't do anything at all on my side with your current email address. If you unsubscribe accidentally, it won't let me put it back unless you confirm you want it. So you have to answer in the affirmative that you want the email before it will reactivate. I hope that makes some sense. So I was not nearly as busy as normal over the holidays. I really did take it pretty easy. I played games. We worked a crossword or a jigsaw puzzle. I told you about that nasty puzzle that Paula sent me. We got it. We got that done, except for the 2 pieces that Teddy ate. And then we got out another one, and we just finished a 1,000-piece puzzle. And then Aunt Paula, hearing that Lauren had a really good time working on the puzzles, we finished the 1,000-piece just in time for Aunt Paula's delivery to Lauren of 2 more puzzles. So Bryce and Lauren finished one called, what was it called? The
Infinite Galaxy.
The Infinite puzzle, which has no borders and pieces that fit in the wrong places and stuff. It's crazy. They finished that one. And now Lauren's working on another 1,000. Lauren and Bryce. I haven't touched this one because I'm back to work now. But Lauren and Bryce have been working on a puzzle of succulents that's a 1,000-piece puzzle. So we did lots of puzzles, lots of games. Bryce and I played lots of backgammon, and I ate everything in sight. And it was really fun recharging days over the holidays. So I don't apologize, but I didn't get a lot done either. So I'm getting my act together. Get newsletters just fine, just not your newsletters. It's crazy because I put you in my address contact 2 times, in fact. Crazy technology. I don't know sometimes, guys. Well, maybe I need to go back to doing it. You know where you guys went to go and look for the recipe exchange and the card exchange for Christmas, the little newsletter/blog link on the front page of our store? I'm going to start posting the newsletters there. So if you're not getting the newsletter, you'll have an opportunity to be able to see them. For some of you that we've tried. Alice wants to know, Bryce, did you cook or bake something special over the holidays? He made, one of you, who was it? Was it Betty? One of you submitted the recipe for peanut butter fudge. And Bryce made that peanut butter fudge, and it's too good. I'm telling you, it's just too good. I loved it. And then he used, it's the one that uses the white frosting. I just because I'm talking about other things, let me just say I've got my window done, got my nice clean piece of acetate in the center of that frame, and now I'm going around that with my shaker tape. He did Yeah, Betty. It was good. And then Bryce got a can of chocolate frosting, mixed it with peanut butter, and made a chocolate peanut butter fudge and put it over the top of the vanilla peanut butter fudge. Oh my gosh. It was sinfully delicious. Really, really good. So thank you for submitting that recipe. That was fun. That was great fun. What else did you cook over the holidays, honey? We didn't.
Not much.
Yeah.
We took cooking off.
Yeah, Bryce kind of took a holiday from cooking as much as I took a holiday from working. He kind of took a holiday off from cooking, so we had lots of DoorDash over the holiday weekend, but that was good. That was good. Yeah, if you haven't seen that recipe, go out and look under the newsletter link. Hi, Patrice. And take a look at her peanut butter fudge recipe. It was fun, easy, and delicious. Okay, I've got my foam tape down on the back of my window. I have made sure that it's nice and tightly sealed there. I'm going to get my little embossing magic pillow out. I should have had this on my supplies list in the beginning and I forgot it. This is not required, but highly advised. I'm taking my pillow and I'm kind of pouncing it around the inside, right up to the foam tape. My tape is still, or my paper is still on top of my tape, so I'm not messing with my sticky, but I am trying to deactivate the sticky on the inside of the foam tape. And now I'm messing up my window really good. You can see, hopefully, can you see that it's really messy? I've got my nice clean window messed up. Don't worry about that. It will clean up. Those guys who have done this will assert that it will, in fact, clean up. I'm going to put my shaker components inside. You've got a baggie of these in your kit. I'll put down about the same amount I gave you. It doesn't take an awful lot of shaker components to get the idea that we're going for. Now I'm going to peel my tape.
Hi, Annette.
Hi, Annette. Welcome, friend. Boy, Bryce and Lauren went crazy with their cookie baking this year. How many kinds of cookies did you guys do, Bryce?
Oh, I don't know. I lost track. Probably a couple dozen.
Different kinds?
Well, between the cookies and the candies and stuff.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys could hear him. He said they did a couple dozen. I believe that's true. Their cookie and candy boxes that they sent out were very generous this year. Okay, I've got my shakers, my shaker tape taped down to the top. I run my finger around it to make sure that seals good. And now I've got my shaker stuff inside. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to shake it really good. A purple Post-it note, the best kind. Once I have shaken it really good, my window is clear again. And you've got all the beautiful shaker components that drop to the bottom when you open and close the card. Okay, we'll put our greeting on here. Because my shaker tape's a little bit higher than my regular foam tape, I'm going to use a piece of shaker tape underneath this to hold this up. Otherwise, it's going to kind of sit cattywampus. Because my shaker tape is 3 millimeter and my foam squares are 2.
Michelle asks, how do you keep your shaker stuff from sticking to the sides of the tape?
That's why we're using the embossing magic pillow. This, if you pounce this around inside this little powder pillow, what it does is help to deactivate the tape on the inside edge, and it on the acetate itself, it kind of kills the static electricity. And so that little embossing magic pillow, when we messed up our window a minute ago, that was the purpose in doing it, is to deactivate some of that tape around the edges so it's not all sticking to the inside edge here. And you can see that I don't have my shaker components aren't sticking with static electricity to the window like they do if you don't use that. It's not essential, but it's a good idea because it takes care of that problem. So there we go. That's card number 2. Let's line it. And I've got a piece of liner that looks just like my card. If I wanted it in here, I'm going to put it in so it is actually this way because it's really not directional. But if I wanted this piece, just like I used the cover, then I would need to put this in upside down, cut around it, and then tape it in place. I'm just going to tape this top corner and it'll be fine. That's what I'm going to do. Hunkydory is getting to a point where they're giving us more inserts than they have in the past. Bad news, it costs a little bit more. Good news is that I have complained so much over the years, I and lots of other people have complained so much over the years about the fact that we make so many more cards than what they anticipate, and there's never enough insert paper that they started making the insert packs bigger. And so that's wonderful. They cost just a bit more, but it sure is nice to have beautiful full-page inserts and plenty of them. I like that. So thank you, Hunkydory, if anybody's listening. And guess what, guys? That's card 2, and we're finished. Oh, yeah, some purple crown for my inauguration will be perfect. I can't decide if the hidden treasure sale was a fantastic idea or a mean practical joke. I think some of the folks on here will tell you they found great free things. But I was telling the guys just before you got here, Patrice, that that would be a really funny practical joke, though. I won't do that to you, I promise.
April holes.
Maybe in April, yeah. Maybe in April. But I was telling you that we had... well, Ellen, now you know how to do a shaker card. Some of our best prizes went unclaimed. We had a Tonic Studios guillotine cutter that sold out, that was free. I think it is sold out now, except I think maybe I put 2 back in because I didn't realize they sold out on Amazon. So we probably need to get rid of that and fix that. But I had a Tonic Studios guillotine cutter that I had free. Nobody claimed it. Nobody found it. And I had I don't remember how many piece it was, 7 or 8 piece die set from Sue Wilson. That was a $29 die set that was free in the cart. And then there were a number of different stickers that didn't get claimed. I know we have like 5,000 stickers, so the likelihood of running across one was fairly small, but I did have some stickers that were free. And I don't remember what else. I had like 7 items. and in addition to the dies from Diversions and Cherry Lynn that were free. And you guys didn't find those, but you did find the Cherry Lynn and the Diversions. We gave away lots of dies in those two categories. Okay, I think it's time to make our next card. Trying to decide the best way to go at this. I'm going to leave this one for last because I actually used some leftover pieces to kind of piece in some of the smaller pieces on this one. So I think we'll do this one next. Let's do the Gatefold card. I love this on the inside too. Isn't that neat? Ah, yes. Okay. Feel free to toss any extras in my order with the big tattered lace dies I submitted when I didn't know about the scavenger hunt. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I finally gave up on getting a good deal and just tried to check out, and it wouldn't let me. It wouldn't let you. Maybe one of the items. I'm sorry, Patrice. If you have that problem, write to me. I'm thinking that what you said above is true, that if you had the items in your cart and they were there for a while, then what happens is somebody else gets them and checks out first, and then you have to remove those items from your cart before it will let you check out. The best way to do that is to check and see what it is to go back and click on the items in your cart and see if they show as available. If it's not letting you check out, it's because you got something that's sold out in your cart. So go back in and into your shopping cart, click on each one of the items individually, and then remove the items that are sold out, and then it should let you go through checkout. I'm sorry that you missed it. If you're ever having that kind of a problem, email me and I can help you. So, okay, we're doing this one. Let's go to the Gatefold. We're going to use this insert because it's beautiful. We're going to use our big, lovely piece of corner cardstock. We need this one. We need this small topper off our topper sheet. We're going to need one of our extras. I think I'm going to save the mirror for that one, so I'm going to use the glitter for this one. You can do these interchangeably if you want to. You can go this way, or you can go this way. I just put two different ones in because I thought it was fun. I'm going to need my my rhinestones. And with that completely, I'm going to need some foam squares. I'm going to need, what else? My card base. So I'm going to get the card base out. And
Mary's husband does not have COVID, just free pneumonia.
Oh, I'm glad he doesn't have COVID, but I'm sorry that he's sick with pneumonia. That's terrible. I will continue to pray about that. Okay, so what we're going to do here, guys, is we're going to cover our card. And we are going to start. I'm going to start by taping one side, one flap of my card, both flaps of my card. I might as well put my tape down at one time. I'm going to put two pieces of tape on each side. Okay. Now, when I do a Gatefold card, I really like it when the pattern matches up on the two sides. And to get the pattern to match up on the two sides, what I like to do is to tape one side, cut it, then use my cut line as my cut line in between. I could cut out a piece the size of my card and it probably would be a little bit easier. But by not cutting it off, I allow myself a little bit of extra room in case I have to move over a little bit. So we're sending purple prayers. Yes. I think God doesn't care a great deal what color they are as long as they're coming his way. Okay. All right. Baby over here. You wouldn't believe this baby, guys. It's almost like we need a puppy cam on Teddy while the video runs because he's just too cute. Oh, gosh. He was supposed to be a mommy's dog, but he has turned out, I'm afraid to say, to be a daddy's dog all the way. I complain about it all the time. Okay, I'm lining up my paper on my first side. Oops, I only exposed my tape on one side. I got my paper just a little bit uneven, but it'll be okay. I'm going to cut this off. And I've got my first panel. And now, because I cut that with scissors, sometimes I need to straighten my edge a little bit, but it's actually pretty good. So I think I'm going to go ahead and go forward with it. I'm going to go ahead and put my other side down. He doesn't care, but purple's always best. We used to say our Belgian Shepherd needed a diaper and a pacifier. Get another Teddy as a brother for him, and then you could each have one. Yeah, I've tried to raise that subject, and my husband says we are a one-dog family. But I don't know. I'll keep complaining about it. Maybe someday I'll get a puppy. Right now, Teddy would take it personally, I think. Although he would love to have a playmate. Okay, putting my card down. I cut around this one as well. Oops. Cut into my extra just a little bit there. Okay. I got off by just a tiniest amount at the bottom. I'm going to trim that off. But I have nice windows. Oh, now I'm not off on the bottom because I just trimmed it off and it looks great. Okay, so we have that done. I'm going to put my topper on this glitter paper. And I'm going to start by measuring. I'm going to start by measuring my topper. It is 2 3/4 wide by 2 3/4 tall. So I think I'm going to make this about 3 1/4 to start with. We'll see if I want any more out of it. Three and a quarter. Okay, and that looks just about right, actually. Okay, now, because I'm putting this on glitter paper, Even though this glitter paper is really pretty smooth, it's the embedded glitter paper, and it's pretty smooth. It's not absolutely smooth. When we are using that, I always recommend that you put just a dab of glue on your foam squares, which seems just totally counterintuitive to be gluing on your adhesive. But that's what we're going to do, because it will help get down in there. It will get down in there and really help hold. So I'm going to put just a little bit, just a spot of glue on each of my foam squares to help hold that upper in place. I'm going to center that on my glitter paper. Sure I got it even. And a little more even, so I'll straighten that up just a little bit. This is where I used my rhinestones. So you have 4 rhinestones in your pack. What did I do with my rhinestones? I know, look to my left. This time they're hiding right in front of me. Oh, you were decoupaging rice paper on a Coke 4-pack holder. Well, how cool is that? Uh-oh. Yeah, that's what happens sometimes, Betty. Especially, not everybody's willing to share mom or dad. That's the... That's a tough one. I had that happen once too. I tried to get a companion for my cat because I felt bad that I was working long hours and she was home a lot. So I got another cat to keep her company, and they did not get along, and she stopped using her litter box, and oh my gosh, my life was not great for a while. I finally had to rehome one of them because it was not working. Okay, I put my rhinestones on the 4 corners of that because I think that's pretty. And now we're going to add this to our card. When we put this on, we want to make sure that we're I'm going to tape it rather than glue it this time. Elsie, good night. Nice that you could drop in and see us. Sleep well, friend. See you on the rerun. We're going to tape this on instead of glue it. And we're only going to tape half of this image. We're only going to tape the left-hand side because we want the gate to be able to open. We're going to center this here. And that looks good. I could have gone a little bit higher, but I'll just have to compensate. Actually, could have been just a bit higher. Okay, next, we're going to do something tricky. I want to use this piece right here. You'll notice I have 2 corners, but I only have one of these left. I'm going to cut it in half. So I'm going to trim this off. And then I'm going to trim this in half. I think I'm going to have to cut it down further than that, but we'll start here. Using the grid lines on my trimmer to make sure I get it cut straight in half. Yeah, it's going to have to be cut down some more. I think I'm just going to go ahead and trim one of these in half, since I have to go smaller. I have to go a little bit smaller than I did last time because I didn't get that centered as well as I wanted. I'm going to trim that in half again, and that's going to look good. See right there? And right there. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to take some of my pink cardstock, and I'm going to make a, let's see what my square size is here, my size of my, okay, this ends up being half of a 1.5 inch square. So I'm going to make a 1 3/4 inch square of my glitter paper. I'm going to trim that, cut that on a triangle also by just lining up my 2 points on my trimmer, trimming it in half. Let's see how these work. And that works out just right. See there? Now let's see if I have room for that. I might have to cut it down some more. Looks like I'm going to have to cut it down a little further because I don't have as much room at the bottom. I'm going to take about maybe 1/8 off of that. See how this works. Okay. There we go. I took 1/8 off, and that's going to be just right. See there? I think 1 3/4 will work fine with yours as long as you don't make the error that I made in getting it a little low. Take 1/8 off the other side also. And that gives me just a nice little border around my pink. I'm going to try a couple different kinds of adhesive here. I'm putting a little spot of tape in the center to help on the mirror board, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue around the outside of this to help on the glitter paper. Between the two, I think I'll get a good adhesion. Okay, I got one done. This one is ever so slightly larger than the other one, so I'm going to take my scissors and trim just an additional little tiny amount off of there. And I'm going to put a little piece of tape in the center. The sharpener works really well, doesn't it, Mary? That's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, it's amazing. You can use your cheap scissors, and I found that somebody gave me a thumbs down. Wow. I hate it when people do that, but that's okay. Yeah. Got distracted there for a second. Um, 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 um. Yeah, the sharpener. Oh, the sharpener was one of the things I had in my cart that I couldn't buy. Darn it. Okay. Okay. So I glued and taped this in place. You understand why I was doing the tape and the glue, because the tape doesn't work really, or the glue doesn't work really well with the mirror board. And the tape doesn't work, or the glue needs to be used to hold it to the um, to the glitter paper. So that's why I did that. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tape these corners in place. That's true. Thank you, Patrice. It's a nice way of looking at it. It's not nice though. If you don't like it, move on. Okay. All right. So I'm going to put my corner in. These little corners really add something to this. I'm not sure why. They just do. I like it. It's just a neat design element. Okay. I'm not sure what it would be blue to means, but okay. Patrice says whoever gave me a thumbs down needs to be put in timeout. Thank you, Patrice. I shouldn't be sensitive about it. After all this time, you'd think it wouldn't bother me, but it does a little bit. That's why people do it, I think. Okay, so we are going to... You guys know that I like to hide little elements under my where's the purple thumb? You guys know I like to hide little elements under this flap. I don't know why. I just started doing it a long time ago, and I still like to do it. So I'm going to put this oval-shaped topper underneath this flap, because I like to. And this one says, live, laugh, love on it. I poke that down tight. I wanted to make sure that I had it in the right place. And then I need my little extra topper. This is to someone special. I'm going to put this on some foam squares. So I'll put that there. A lot of foam squares for a little topper, but that's okay. Black hat. You guys are the best. You make me feel good. In a corner on a stool with a hat on, Betty says. Oh, a black hat. Not a purple hat. You guys are the best. You make me feel great. Okay, to someone special. And guess what? This one's done outside. How pretty, huh? I like it. Now, let's do some decorating inside. We have this whole big, beautiful topper sheet here. And I thought it was fun to do, since we don't really have room to do a big one. We could have used it inside here, but I decided that I wanted to use the seam inside here where it all folds out. Now, you might be more clever than me, but I've never been able to get the inserts to go in without rippling a little if I try and use one continuous sheet. It either won't open all the way or it ripples. So I like to cut my inserts into pieces. I know that my card is 5 7/8 inch high. So the first thing I'm going to do is to choose the part of my scene that I'm going to use inside of here. And I'm going to go a little higher than... I take the top off of this, and then I'm going to make this 5 7/8. Now this is 4 1/4 plus 2 plus 2, so it's going to be 8 inches wide. I have to decide which part of this I want to be right in the middle. And I opted for the center part of this to cut this right along this unicorn's side and get most of this image. Just the back end of the unicorn is on the other panel. So I'm going to cut along here. And then I want this to be, it's 4 1/8 wide, but only about 4 inches is going to go inside of there. So I'm going to cut this 4 inches. And I am going to be just a little tall, I knew that. But I'll trim off the extra. And I started by positioning the one I wanted in the center. Ned says we'll hunt them down. Just make sure you give me a thumbs up to compensate, will you? If you all give me a thumbs up, then I'll feel fine about the one person who gave me a thumbs down. And they'll never let them wear a purple hat.
No.
Glad to see you, Susan. Welcome. Happy New Year to you, too. Okay. All right, so I am positioning my scene right in the middle here. I'm going to trim the extra off the bottom. Even just like that, it's pretty, but it's even prettier once we get the two sides done. So I'm going to take this piece then, and I'm going to position it over here, and then I'll trim around the extra. So I'm just going to put a couple pieces of tape here. Thank you, Mary. Mary says, I'm giving you 2 thumbs up. Happy New Year to all you guys. You guys just make my day. You really do. So nice to see you out there today. You guys make me happy. Okay. I'm going to peel my tape. I'm going to match my pattern up. We'll think that, yeah. If you ever do hit the wrong one by mistake, I have done that. If you ever do hit the wrong one by mistake, just click it again. It takes it off. Okay. And then I'm going to trim my extra off. I don't want to get a hold of that. Okay. So I got my extra trimmed off there. And now I'll put my other piece in over here. Okay. And we will okay. Put my last little piece of insert paper in here. Just match my pattern and trim off around it. These are so pretty, these inserts. I just can't get over how pretty they are. And here we go. We have it. It overlaps just a little bit on the inside. I'm gonna trim that little crease. Okay, there we have it, guys. There's our gatefold card. Open it up and it's beautiful inside. We have our gatefolds done. One last card to do. Are you ready? We'll do our inverse card. Now I did a couple little trickies to help you out here, help myself out too. This magic mirror is beautiful, Merry Magic, but it's a little bit unforgiving when you trim. So I will tell you right up front that I put this where it is to help cover up any little nicks that happen when we trim this out. So if you get any little nicks when you're trimming that out, I don't want you to be upset with yourself over it. We can fix that, okay? Let's go ahead and get started here. We're going to get our inverse card out. We're going to get our mirror board. Look how much of this you have left. You have a lot of that left. We're going to get this 3-piece topper set. We're going to get this Wishing You a Happy Birthday out. we are also going to get this piece of cardstock out. And we are going to need a glued bow, which I have already tied and glued. And that's it for now. I'm actually going to probably use this too on my sidebars, but we're going to start here. And we're going to start oh my gosh, you got 2 feet of snow on your deck? Oh my gosh. Karen Williams wants to know, Debbie, what do you do with all the cards you make? I mostly give them as Christmas presents. I have a large number of family and friends who look forward to getting a box of Christmas cards. So not a box of Christmas cards, a box of cards for Christmas. That box will include both Christmas cards and all occasion cards. You can guess I make hundreds and hundreds of Christmas cards. Well, you know how many cards I make because you see it. And I make 2 of each because I make 1 for the sample and then 1 during class. So we have a lot of cards at our house. A lot of cards. But it works out great because those card samples and my finished products are the favored gift of most of my Christmas list. So I bundle them up and I give everybody a large, beautiful box of cards for Christmas. And they love that. So that's what I do. Now, I have lost my ruler. So we are going to start here. The very first thing I want to do is I want to cover my card. And I'm going to do that. I just folded my card and I'll show you how I did that. You kind of pre-fold this piece here and this piece here and just get a little bit of a fold in this. Once you do that, give a little bit of a fold here. This is a valley fold. It folds down. And then once you have that, then you can kind of crease everything in place. But your finished card will look like, or your folded card will look like this. Okay? And then, yeah, that's a great idea, Patrice. My family loves it. I'm telling you, they love it. I want to position my card so that this pretty border is across the bottom down here. I got fingerprints all over, but I'll wipe it down with my cloth when I'm done. Sometimes it bugs me, so I do it while I'm going to, but I want that border to be on the bottom. I'm going to put tape here, 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 across 2 lines on this U shape. Here, here, okay? So I'm going to put using the rest of my Teddy roll here. Teddy chewed the heck out of this roll of tape. Fell on the floor. It was fair game, just like the puzzle pieces. I don't work. It interferes with my crafting. Oh, you're funny. Here's the last of my roll of tape here, so I can throw out this Teddy roll. Move on to a nice roll again. Oh. I hope everybody's staying safe out there. Boy, COVID just gets worse and worse. I know I'm not supposed to talk about this because this is our happy place, but you guys stay safe. I want to know that you're all well. Okay. I've got my tape down on my paper. Rub my tape in just a little bit. Then I'm going to... Oh, I picked up my bow. Let's put that back up over there. I'm going to peel my tape. Come on. Just remember, if your finger lift tape doesn't lift nicely for you on your first attempt, just tear it in the middle and pull back both directions. I've got lots of tape on this U now. What tape is this? Karen, this is my Hunkydory finger lift tape. I love my finger lift tape. I use this instead of a... Is the bow the surprise element of the card? Well, I don't know if it's a surprise, but it goes right there. I love my finger lift tape. I use it instead of a tape runner. For years I used a tape runner, but I was always frustrated. I lived in a state of perpetual frustration because I make a lot of cards, as you know. And I forever was jamming the silly tape runners. I never found one that I didn't mess up in some way. You know, I pressed too hard, I think. And so they were always jamming, and I was taking it apart and trying to use up the rest of what was on the tape roll, and it was just a mess all the time. And so I started using this finger lift tape, and I will never go back to a tape runner ever, ever again, because it's way less expensive, which is good. And Teddy must be back. I just had a cold nose run across my ankle. Ooh. Okay, yeah. It's way less expensive. It doesn't jam. It goes a long ways for the money, and it's wonderful. Now, we've got this put on. Okay, I've got my cardstock put on the front of my card. It's taped down to the U on the front of my card. Now, I'm going to cut this out, but I want to alert you that you want to cut straight across here. Do not cut out that little notch yet. Just go straight across the top, okay? Then come straight down the side. The reason I don't want you to cut down into that notch area yet is that we're going to use that piece of paper right there. Okay, so we've got that. All right. Next, this is the one little tricky part of doing this, is that, that's true, you also can't do tape flags with a tape runner. Good point. Okay. We've got this. Okay, we're going to cut this piece out of the center. This is the only part that's just a little bit tricky. It's not bad, but it's just a little bit tricky. Depending on whether you're right or left-handed, one of these cuts is going to be easy and the other one's going to be a little bit more challenging. I find the left one easy, and I find the right side just a little bit more challenging. But just take your time, it's okay. I'm cutting straight down. Huh? I had to see what I was doing. Bryce is telling me, you're off camera, it's too high. But I had to see what I was doing. Now, I'm going to come across and I'm going to trim out this little flap. So I'm going to come to the bottom and I'm going to go straight across after I've cut my 2 lines down. Now, remember when I said that Mary is just a little bit unforgiving? I don't know if you can see it, but I have a little tiny nick in my mirror board right here where I cut that out. But we anticipated that, and we're fine because we are going to put this, we're going to put this on our piece of our fuchsia cardstock, and we're going to place that right here. So if we have any little icky nicks there, it's going to cover up. I'm not sure I would even worry about the amount I have here, but when I did the first one, it was a little bit more pronounced. I got kind of a nick there. It's just because this mirror board is really kind of fetchy, guys, because it's reflective, right? Okay. So we can do whatever we like next. I'm going to go ahead, I think, and put this little banner on there. And to make my little banner, I'm just going to put a piece of tape on the back of my Debbie becomes the purple POTUS. Okay, I'm going to put my little banner on my mirror board, and I'm going to leave a little border around it. What that border is going to do, and the reason I put this on the fuchsia, is you can see it would, otherwise it just kind of disappears into this border, and that doesn't look good. So by putting the fuchsia cardstock, Mary cardstock behind it, it kind of separates that out. That little bow is just sticking to everything. It's the best glue ever on it. So I'm just using that to kind of separate that from that border at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just trim around this. I'm going to allow myself a little, well, maybe it might be as much as 1/8. It's just a little border around this fuchsia. Just enough to really set that off. Let that image or that sentiment show. Good night, Kieran. I use my little scissors here. Got a little close here, so I'm going to cut this whole thing a little narrower. Boy, it got quiet, didn't it? It gets quiet when I stop talking. You probably thought your sound was off because you hear my voice all the time. Okay, so I just have a tiny, tiny little border around there. But it's going to be just right to set this off and allow us to raise this as much as we need to cover any little goofiness there. I think I made this one narrower than I did the first one. I could still make this wider if I wanted to. I kind of cut a little narrower than I wanted on the bottom. I actually think my wider one was prettier. What would happen if I just put it on another piece? I think it looked fine. I might just I'm not quite happy with the width of my border there, so I think I'm going to put a piece of tape on the back of here, put it back down on my fuchsia, and gut it again. Yes, there are. There's always a way. And this one I don't really have to redo, but I'm going to try it because I think it looked prettier with a wider border around here, and I kind of made this one too narrow. So I'm going to do it again. Isn't that a pretty color, Mary R? This is part of the Crafter's Companion color pack for fuchsia, and it has like 3 or 4 different specialty papers in one pack. Okay, I'm going to cut this wider this time. I'll cut it off first, then trim it. That was a problem I had last time. I think I didn't. Well, I'm having trouble with these big scissors today. I don't know why. Can't seem to cut straight to save me. Well, it sounded like I thought, Teddy, something's wrong with Ted.
Just my shoe, wet shoe.
Taking the longest time on the simplest piece, guys. But I do like that better. I like that much better now. So I'm going to use that. All right. Aren't those neat? Oh, those new, and you know, even some of the card stock that they just came out with, the Galaxy one. Oh my gosh. Beautiful. Okay. I'm going to put some foam squares on here. Now, I'm going to let this come up a little bit. When I put my foam squares on, though, I want to make sure my foam squares stay down because I don't want this sticking to the inside, right? So I'm going to keep my foam squares across the bottom. And I'm going to let it come up on my window just a little bit. Ruth Ann said I have to run just a little bit. I'll be back. Patrice said, I'll save your seat. Patrice, you crack me up. That's not the same when you're not here, friend. You need to be here for us because you crack me up. Matchy matchy with your top of the paper. Oh, I didn't do that on purpose. I have to admit, sometimes I do think about what I'm making and wear clothes that kind of match, but today I didn't. But yeah, I guess I do. That's kind of funny. It's kind of funny that I actually do coordinate my top sometimes with what I'm making, though. If it's a fall thing, I wear fall colors. If it's Christmas, I wear Christmas colors. You know, I can't help myself, guys. Okay, let's see. I'm going to put this just up on my window, just a little bit, just enough to hide the little nicks. And leave a little bit left. See there? That's cute, isn't it? That looks good. Okay, next, we're going to cut. Where's that piece? This piece should, theoretically, fit really well on that cutout piece in the back. If it isn't quite big enough, you could reverse what I did here. If it's just a little too small, if it's a tiny bit too small, nobody's ever going to notice. I wear purple a lot. You notice that, right? But if it's just a tiny, tiny bit too small, nobody's ever going to know the difference. If it's more, if it's more small, if it's smaller, then reverse these two and make the fuchsia the outside and put the gold inside. Okay? I think this is going to be fine for mine. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to, the top edge is just a little bit unstraight, so I'm going to straighten my edge on the top just a tad with my paper cutter. And then I'm going to slide this in here and I'm going to tape it down. Maybe I'll put my fuchsia on it before I tape it down, actually. So my width on this one is 3 inches even. So I'm going to make my fuchsia paper. I think I'm going to go to 2 3/4 wide as my starting point.
You add rhinestones to your tops. They make tools for that.
I could add rhinestones to my top. And I believe I have one of those tools. Okay, let's see how that looks. Yeah, that's just about right. Okay, and then my length of my card, of my piece here is 4 3/8. I'm going to take this down to 4 1/4. I don't care if it matches on the bottom, so I'm going to go to 4 1/4, I think. Let's see how that looks. Oh, that looks good. Here's my insert piece. Okay, so I'm going to put some tape on here. I think we all had one. Somebody said, yes, Betty, I think we did.
Dazzler.
Yeah.
That's what yours was.
I think so. I think I used to sell them at once upon a time.
You did.
And then I also have a hot rhinestone fixer that would work on fabric. And I still have that one. Okay. I want that right about. Just matching this up here with my tape flags to make sure I get this centered the way I want it. I dropped that down just a bit more, so I'm going to trim the fuchsia just a tad. And when I drop that down in there now, that fits really nicely. So I'm going to put some tape on there. I may do that with tape flags too. I've never tried this before, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to try doing it with a tape flag. Rub my tape down a little bit, expose just a tiny bit of my adhesive at the top, and pull my little flag out. I don't know if they could fly tape flags outside the new White House. Sure. Oh, gosh. Okay, I'm putting my insert right where I want it, getting it lined up nicely. And pull my little tape flag out. And I think that actually worked pretty good. A little bit off, but not enough to worry about. I'm going to get my horses here, my unicorns. And I am going to put my unicorns. Okay, that really is kind of bugging me. I don't have it down very tight yet, so I'm going to move that because it's not down tight. Yeah. That's a little better. Okay. All right. I'm going to put some tape on the back of my unicorns and slide them in here on this topper. Glad you're feeling better, Roberta. All this talk has made me thirsty. Ellen asked how long you've been doing cards for Debbie. I think we mean maybe videoing cards for Debbie. We've been doing videos for 5 or 6 years. In total on the videos, we've been doing 5 or 6 years. We've only been doing the live stream since March. Did we start in March? I think it was March, actually. I'm not positive, though. You'd have to look back. But not long on the live streams. I'm just going to kind of center that between the two sides, guys. Like the way that looks. So now we've got our topper inside. Now, we have these 2 posts here. And the posts are fine in gold, but it's just kind of a little bit boring. So I decided I wanted a little bit more to them. I used this leftover piece of cardstock that I had. And I trimmed some of these to layer those posts a little bit. Now those posts, measuring from here, I don't want to cover up my pretty border at the bottom. So measuring from the little border, on up, it is 4.5 inches. And the width of this post, this would be a lot easier if I knew where my little... The width of this post is 1.25 inches. So I'm going to make... Did we just say it was 4.5, right? 4.5? I'm going to cut myself some 1 by 4.5 inch posts to put on here. So here's my 4.5. It didn't look wide enough, but it was. Okay. I'm going to cut 1, 2 strips that are 1 by 4.5 inches, and I'm going to put those in right here on both sides. Okay. So Get a little piece of tape here. That's true, Susan. That's true, Mary. Bryce does have a video out there. It's the one that says I probably will get in trouble for this. If you want to see Bryce imitate me, that's where you go. Go see the video that says I'll probably get in trouble for this. I didn't get in trouble for that because he got more views and post likes than most of my videos, and we're actually a little competitive, he and I. So he let it stand because he got more views. Okay. Our cameras are stationary. They both are on stands, but Bryce is sitting at a computer monitoring to make sure that the sound and the video and stuff continues to work, which is a good thing because if you've been around very long, you know that they don't always. And he has to jump in and fix something. Technology is always interesting and challenging. Okay. I got my posts covered. Now I took this little border that we had here on our sheet, which we had not yet used. And I took a piece of this and I covered the top of my post to make the top of my post match the bottom of my post. I'll show you when I get it on there. Bryce does do an awesome job, Mary R. Thank you for acknowledging him because he is great. Yeah, you don't have to search too far, Susan. Just look at our videos. Go back in our videos and you'll see a video that says it's back in about May, maybe. It says, I'll probably get in trouble for this. And you can see Bryce imitating me. Yep, he was trying to get the settings right on his computer, so he just filmed a little piece of video so he could go back and check his settings, and I found it and posted it. Okay. Now this could be done here. But I had a bow sitting here when I was doing my samples, and I liked the way it looked when I put it on there, so I'm going to do it again. I have best glue ever on here, but I have attached it to so many things. I hope it will still stick. It seems to still be sticky. I'll pull the tails down a little bit. I'm going to trim the tail on this side so it's not...
I don't know how many years you've been making cards.
Let's see. That's a good question. I made cards even before I did Hunkydory. Hunkydory's been around for how many years now?
Cards. Stamping cards.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
All the marriage years.
Yeah, at least 25 years. At least 25 years. That is true. I've been crafting forever, and yeah, I've been making cards forever too. Okay, time to put a liner on the inside of this. We have this pretty one, and we have this pretty one left. I think I'm going to use this one actually with the border. I think that looks really nice. This card should be 6 by 6, I believe, but let's measure it. Before we cut anything, let's measure it. It's 6 by 6. So I'm going to cut myself a 6 by 6 piece of this border, or this insert paper. It was Hunkydory that really helped me get into, oh, it's not quite 6, see? It was Hunkydory that really helped me get into card making, though, because we were selling the card making kits in the store, and I had so many people who were writing and saying, well, this is great, but I'm totally intimidated. I pull this out of the pack and I have no idea where to start. What do I do? Because, well, Hunkydory had some samples. Either people didn't know the techniques to use or just were overwhelmed. So I started doing videos to help people figure out what to do with all the Hunkydory supplies. And that's kind of where all of this came from. And now we do lots of Hunkydory, but we do lots of other companies.
Melissa's asking if you're going to tease them.
I'm going to show you the kit. Well, I'm going to show you the magazine that will go with the kit. I don't have the cards ready yet. I said I really took time off. But I'm going to be working on those in the next day or so. And hopefully I will have some card designs for you soon. But I will show you the basic magazine. I don't want you to go run out and buy the magazine yet, though, because I'm going to put together a kit that has all of your card bases, specialty papers, and other things in it, too. Most of the paper will actually come from the magazine, but we'll need some other supplemental materials just because we always need supplemental materials. Okay, so we've got our insert paper in. And now we're going to take the rest of that border. Oops, I kind of got too much off it, but that's okay. We don't need to go all the way. That's probably a good example. You will position your stopper wherever you like. With these, I like these to sit more open, where with a traditional easel, I might often set it back. But I'm going to put my stopper just before the edge of this border, I think. And I have two choices of stoppers available. This one's a little bit short, but it's fine. I could use this one, or I also have this other wavy piece left in border, and it could be a stopper too. We'll see which one I like the best on here, since we still have that piece available. I don't know which one I like better. Sorry, gotta turn it around so I can see. I think I like the straight edge. This is going up against a straight edge. I'm going to use a piece of my shaker tape. Let this stand up nice and high. Be a stopper for my easel. And we'll just flip this off. Really? Okay. what do I do with the leftover bits? Honestly, at one time I used to keep all of them, but I make so darn many cards, guys, that Brittany drove me crazy about keeping all the little bits and pieces. So now I save them for Emma, who is Margie's granddaughter that lives with her. Emma is an up-and-coming little crafter, and she likes all the little leftover tags and bits and pieces. I give them to her, and she designs her own projects with them. So I pass them on to the kids. Alrighty. This could still benefit from a easy peely verse on the inside, but here we go, guys. There is our beautiful unicorn easel card. It's all finished. Didn't that turn out great? I love it. So like these, I'll keep these because I'll reuse these. I can cut sentiments and stuff out of them. But some of these other pretty pieces, I'll pass those on to Emma. And then little tag. And these are fun because sometimes you can take a background piece and you can actually create your own topper with those. With the little tags and stuff. Now I pass them on to Emma. Like I said, I used to keep them all. But I just make so many, I was constantly adding to the stash. And Brittany finally said, "And Debbie, you have to get rid of some of this." And it's Brittany's job to help me try and stay somewhat organized. A losing proposition, I might add. Not an enviable position at all for a kid to be in. Help me try and stay organized. But she would say, "You cannot keep all of this." And she was right. But Emma especially likes all these little sparklies. So there we go. The last of our cards for today. So we've made some beautiful things, haven't we? We've made 4 cards. 3 of them were specialty cards. Well, let's see. We made our easel card. We made our gatefold card. We made our shaker card. Oh yeah, and then we made our DL card. So we have some really neat stuff from today. This is a beautiful set to work with. And man, it's easy to make beautiful things when you have beautiful materials. This kit is out now on the website, so if you didn't get this one, grab it. Everything you saw in our kit today at the beginning of this video was in that kit and available for you. We still have some dragons, we still have some fairies, and we still have some of the, what was the other one? Dragons, fairies, unicorns, and wolves. Yes, we have a few of each of them left, so grab those while they last. On Thursday, I don't know if I'm going to do this Thursday or Saturday. I'm not sure. I know my New Year's resolution was to get further ahead of you, and it still is my resolution to do that. But one of those 2 days coming up, I'm not sure which yet, we will do, this does have really cute stamping ideas in it though. We're going to do start our Valentines. And to start our Valentines, we're going to use issue 73 of Tattered Lace magazine. And it has these charming, wonderful little couple, the penguins. The penguins are so cute. They're so cute. Now, I will tell you that issue 73 is rich in terms of what you get with it, because you get this great big die. What do you think you'd pay for that as a tattered lace die by itself? $20, $25? They say £16.99, £16 99 pence. And that would be in the 20-something range, because you have to, by the time you figure, I can tell you how I figure it. I figure it at 1.5, which is a little over. The exchange rate's usually about 1.25. I figure 1.5 by the time I pay shipping to get stuff here. So 16, 17, half again of 17, 8. So $25 thereabouts would probably be right. But in addition to that, you also get this great big stamp, which is so cute, of an igloo. You get a wonderful igloo stamp, and then snowflakes and stars stamps. Then you get the magazine with the ideas, and it's got wonderful displays. They give you 8 card designs in the magazine for this set. So we have those good things. Then they, of course, have all kinds of other wonderful, tempting sets that you can look at. But they give you papers that we can punch from, and we're going to use some of those. If I use anything from the download set, and I don't know if I will yet, there is a download that goes with this, a free download also. If I use anything from the download set, I will send that to you with your kit so that you don't have to print that for class. It's part of the free download process, but I will, if I use anything out of the download, then I will print it and send it. It's always important for me to tell you that because some of these magazines are not the current editions, that the promotions and sales they talk about in here are obsolete. I always want to tell you that because I never want you to be disappointed with anything you get from us. But I care more about the products than I do the promotion in the magazine. So this is what we're using as a base for that class, and we'll be using our die cutters, and we'll be cutting out some of these wonderful penguins, and we'll be making some really super cute valentines. So that's my plan for the next class. I also want to get started again with our stamping class. I want to do some landscape stamping and coloring with I think we'll start with our watercolor markers, and then we'll go to our alcohol markers from there. So we're kind of resume our stamping schedule. So those are some of the things we have on the immediate agenda. I promised you that we would be doing some Beatrice Potter, and Bryce wants to figure out how to put some screenshots into the video, so I'm waiting for him to tell me we're good to go on those. So we'll do that as soon as he's ready to do that, and that's where we're headed from here. So I think, without further ado, I do want to say that I appreciate you guys being out there. Sure missed you over the holidays, and it's good to be back with you. And we will resume our regular schedule. Most of you have already given me a thumbs up. For that, I appreciate it. If you have not yet given us a thumbs up, please do that. If you are not already subscribed to our channel, hit that subscribe button if you would, please. That will make sure you never miss an episode. And it will also help our YouTube statistics. Part of what YouTube uses to base whether or not they will recommend our videos to other people is our subscriptions and our thumbs up. So you can help me if you are enjoying our videos by hitting that subscribe button as well. And unless there are any questions, comments, or pearls of wisdom, I think I'll say good night, Gracie. You guys stay safe out there too.
Ending the stream.